Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Bao News Network. We're actually tracking a significant weather events in the area of Kansas and Colorado. We do anticipate that there's going to be a severe thunderstorm watch issued by the Storm Prediction Center very shortly as the system actually makes its way. If you remember, we were tracking the system when it was primarily concentrated in the regions of California, where it brought significant precipitation over the CIRAs and also snowfall in the region of the Idaho Falls as well as Boise, Idaho. Before we actually get into this forecast, if you're new to this channel, why not just go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe. We try to bring daily forecasts, sometimes twice daily, depending on the severity of the weather. Anyway, so we're actually taking a closer look at this system, and it's actually been developing where this trough, there's been a trough centered just a little bit in the region initially it was near the Four Corners, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado area, and it's been transitioning towards the Texas Panhandle into Oklahoma. And what we're actually seeing is sort of like a dry line that we always reference in the Storm Prediction Center, and it's clearly visible. And we're actually going to take a closer look at this dry line, sort of like a boundary layer between the cold front making its way across and also very high dew points in the region of 60 degrees, upper 60s, which means that the air is very moist, very saturated, very warm, which is a prescription for severe thunderstorms going forward. And as this cold front actually makes its way into the region of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Nebraska, we are anticipating significant severe thunderstorm activity. We actually saw one or two thunderstorms actually picking up. One that we can actually spot was in Yuma, Colorado, early this morning, and it was pretty heavy, and reports of hail and so forth. So we are going to be tracking this area pretty well going forward with our weather forecast. And as always, we want to go ahead and load our cuboid, and our weather cuboid is actually going to highlight the 5 elements of this weather forecast. Of course, we're taking a closer look at the GOES-16 satellite imagery initially, and then we're going to take a closer look at the Storm Prediction Center alerts, and then we're also going to take a closer look at bulk sharing. We're going to take which is going to contribute to the development of the thunderstorms. And also we're going to take a closer look at the ground level temperature as well as the dew points, as we mentioned. So as we get closer into this forecast, you can see that this system is quite concentrated here in the region of Texas, and let's not forget about the region of Alaska also. We do see a significant weather system in the region of Alaska, which is going to be bringing additional precipitation in this area. If we go back to the corridor here in the Central Plains area for this system, we do anticipate for today through Thursday that there's going to be significant and heavy precipitation rainfall coupled with hail and a possibility of tornadoes in the region of central Oklahoma going down into Texas. If you recall, we had an alert from our previous forecast where we were taking a closer look possibly at thunderstorms and supercell formation in the region of Wichita Falls, Kansas, all the way down to San Helio, Texas. So we were actually taking a closer look along this line, and we can actually see the dry line along this region here. And as this system actually makes its way across, it's going to once again increase the likelihood of severe thunderstorms in the region of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. If we take a closer look at the alerts at this time, this is actually the tornado alert for today, and we do see along the border between northern Texas and southern Oklahoma that it's a concentrated 10 to 15% chance of touchdown of tornadoes in this region. So we did see thunderstorm activity in the region of Colorado, notably supercell activity and thunderstorm activity in the region of Yuma earlier today, and we anticipate that that will actually be just a precursor to what's going to be happening in the region of central Texas and Oklahoma going into today, going into the later on in the evening and tomorrow. So as we take a closer look at our forecast, we can see that there is a significant amount of drought region in the area of the southeast, as we mentioned earlier. The region in East Texas going through to the southeast is still very, very wet, still very moist. Keep in mind that for the last week or two, they have been actually battered by severe thunderstorms, so the area is actually going to be prone to flooding, and flooding is going to be a serious consideration as far as flooding watches that may be issued by the Storm Prediction Center going into the latter part of this week. As we see this trough low making its way across into the southeast, we do anticipate that it's going to actually start warming up for the southeast quite a bit. We do have some cold temperatures here in the Pacific Northwest, as well as the Great Basin. States of Wyoming and Utah and Idaho received quite a bit of additional snowfall as a result of this system, which is anchored sort of in the center at the panhandle of Texas at this time. But as the system makes its way down, we do anticipate that it's going to be a warming trend for the southwest, and as the system makes its way across, we're going to actually see that dry line actually shifting further and further east as the system makes its way. So you'll see severe thunderstorm activity brewing in the region of central Texas, East Texas, going into Arkansas and Louisiana. Some of the temperatures that we're looking at are in the 70s, upper 60s, 70s. Houston is 70 degrees, 67 degrees in the area of Dallas. Even in South Florida region, we're looking in the upper 70s, low 80s. If we go across to California, though, we do see that there was a cooling trend as the system made its way across. So the temperatures are just a little bit below normal in the region along San Jose, Los Angeles, San Francisco, in that region. Of course, we do see increased precipitation in the region of Washington and Portland, as there is a system just anchored across off the coast of Alaska. But as this system actually makes its way across, we do anticipate severe thunderstorm activity throughout the day. If we can take a closer look at the bulk sharing, which is a very important element in the development of supercells, as well as even more severe weather such as tornadoes, we are seeing very, very high gusts in the region of central Texas going into Kansas and Oklahoma. We can see a distinctive line. Actually, it coincides or overlaps with the previous forecast that we were looking at when we were mentioning the dry line. So we can actually see a distinct jet pattern as far as bulk wind shears, and we do see that in some regions it's gusting up at higher elevations. This is at the 500 millibar range, which is anywhere from generally 15,000 feet to 20,000 feet. And in that region, we are seeing very, very high velocity winds, which is a contributing factor to actually getting that circulation for possibly tornadoes. So this is definitely the bulk sharing element of what's actually happening as the system makes its way through is definitely a consideration going forward as far as issuing a severe thunderstorm watch for the remainder of today going into Thursday. Like we mentioned, bulk sharing is an element that we take a very, very close look at, especially at the higher levels of the atmosphere, which could contribute to, along with other subtle elements, if they're all coinciding well with each other, such as a Cape value as well as low convective inhibition, could increase the chance of tornadoes forming. If we take a closer look at what we mentioned earlier, which was the dew point line, we are seeing ideal conditions for thunderstorm activity simply because there's a dry line, as we mentioned, and we can see the saturation of the moisture just from off the coast, Gulf Coast into central Texas and also southeast Texas. Dew points are in the range of the mid-60s to low 70s in some areas. So there is going to be significant formation of severe thunderstorms in the region of central Oklahoma, going all the way down through the core of the great state of Texas. We anticipate that eventually this dew point line or dry line will actually start shifting as it goes further and further east, and a lot of times this dew point line or dry line will actually line up with the I-35, and we actually see significant thunderstorm activity, and it's been pretty much a telltale cookie cutter situation for the last 2 to 3 weeks, where once this dry line lines up with the I-35, we see significant thunderstorm activity, touchdown of tornadoes along the coast of Texas and Louisiana, actually going into Mississippi and eastern Mississippi. So we're actually taking a very, very close look, but we already see the telltale signs of this dew point line actually shifting further and further east, and as we see that, the low will actually dip a little bit further in. Those isobars will start to tighten quite a bit, and we do anticipate that there's going to be severe thunderstorm activity right along the Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana border, possibly tonight going into the morning tomorrow. So we will continue to watch this development with the weather. If you have friends in the region of Texas, Oklahoma, or Colorado, please share this video with them, and of course please like and share on social media. It may be able to help others who may be facing severe weather, and our goal here at Bow News Network is to bring the latest updates, to review all of the different elements of the weather, to dissect it for you and assemble it into the latest information that you can use so that you can actually prepare for the storm. So thank you as always. We always appreciate our subscribers, and always remember to bow to the weather. And thank you so much.